Check this woman out. She's dancing to the music. So welcome to the post-race analysis, where we warm down and we wrap up what just happened. And what just happened was that I came 13th in that race. I thought it was one, I didn't know it was a time trial one, but due to all the faffing about with the technical difficulties, I just had to take whatever race there was. It's always better for these live streams when you can see where I'm placed in the race. So I'm going to do that in future. But we've just been played with technical difficulties tonight. But, you know, this is the point. I'm just learning through experience and trying to get this live stream setup nailed. So we're just going to go around London, warm down, because we don't want to stop immediately after a race, because in this cold weather your muscles are liable to cramp and we can just drink at the same time. And I can answer your questions, or you can talk to me. I've got the chat up, so let me know if you can hear me. Check, check, check. But in that race, I wasn't that pleased with my performance. Hey Louis, good to hear ya. How's your training going? My training is basically races on Zwift and hill reps at the moment. But I'm loving the races. You know, I'm not actually trying to place anywhere in the top 10. I'm just trying to go as long as I can, as deep as I can. And especially doing them on these live streams, it really pushes you and you get the best possible workout. The most bang for your buck. But yeah, I just wasn't feeling it in the legs. And I think my heart rate was way higher, well my heart rate was way higher than it has been in previous races. And you know, it just means that it's going to be so much harder to push the big numbers that you need to keep up on with those moves. Cheers for the kudos, Louis. Because the race for me was lost when I couldn't keep up with the move at the top of Leaf Hill, because I'd already been pushing 340 to 360 watts for like 10 minutes, and then it got nudged up even further, the power numbers at the people at the front, and I wasn't really at the front. And so as people made the move, you know, I was still pushing 360 watts, but just wasn't enough. So I needed to be at the front, really. Needed to be right at the front, so probably push more watts at the bottom of Leaf Hill. And yeah, I think that's what I'll do next time anyway. But this is it, you know, learning through experience is the best way. But the stats for the nerds, I did it in a time, I think it's the Greatest London Loop, 25 kilometers in a time of 38 minutes and 1 second. And I pushed 327 watts for that time, so like 40 minutes. And the 20-minute power was 337. 337 watts for 20 minutes and 68 kilos. I think that's a 4.9 watts per kilo. It's alright, but I know I can do better. But I'm not trying to push my peak numbers. I'm just trying to train and get the most bang for my buck, which is doing Zwift races. And I recommend everyone does it because it's just such an awesome training session if you can't get outside, which I cannot right now because it's cold, dark and raining. That's awesome, Louis. Man, it's all about doing the races though, you know? You'll improve so much quicker doing the races rather than avoiding them. Cheers for the kudos. Be Brawn. But what I want these live streams, what you want to see, I want to make it so easy that I can just do these live streams every single time that I train. And then after every race, we can do a post-match roundup. Hey, right Ben? Yeah, cheers for the kudos. I wish it would like buy you watts. Like when you get a certain amount of kudos, you get a power up or something. If we're going to deal in power ups in Zwift, might as well just like make it even more complicated. Am I thinking about joining the CVR Arcade League next year? I have no idea what that is, but I will now look into it. Cheers, Louis. But next race, again, we'll just go as long as we possibly can, as deep as we possibly can, and get the best workout possible, and have a lot of fun along the way. Because that's the thing about these races in Zwift, is that the stimulus is just so high. No, you just can't get the same stimulus, especially this time of year. And at this time of day when it's dark outside. Hey Bryce. Right, oh okay, cool Bryce. Cheers for the clarification. So it's an alternative to Zwift. Definitely interested in that. When are the recipe videos coming up? I'm working on them, There is so much content to come. Honestly, we're tripling down, we're stepping it up. This channel is going to the next level. I promise. 2019. Watch this space. I don't think I'm gonna race now. I haven't eaten all day. So I need to do a private recipe video of my own after I've done a few more K. We'll do 20K, and then I'm gonna go and eat some potatoes. Potatoes, sauteed kale, and some barbecue sauce for starters. There's a recipe video. Right, next race will be tomorrow, hopefully, if I get time. The problem is at the moment is that I'm working so hard in the background on the videos and on this channel in general, stuff that you haven't seen yet, but you will see. in 2019 that, you know, it's a full-time job at the moment, so I can't always train as I would want to at the moment, but we'll make it happen. So hopefully tomorrow, around this same time, we'll have another race for you. But in the meantime, whilst I finish off this 20k, just spinning around London from my living room in London, and ask me any questions. Just chat in general, man. I don't mind. Chat it up. The chop race will be at 7 PM tomorrow. I'll be there. Okay, I'll have a look. The chop. Is that one that has places though? Will it show you if you're first, second, third? Because for these live streams, it's better to have some sort of context for people who are just joining the stream to see where I am. You know, if they see I'm first and I'm like halfway through the race, then it's a lot more compelling. Oh, you're in Group B. Awesome, Louis. Well, I will keep it in mind. I just need to make sure that it has the context of first, second, third, the placing, so that people can see what's happening. But yeah, probably going to be pushing a similar kind of watts tomorrow. It's the handicap race. Oh yeah. I've done a live stream with that one and I really enjoyed it. I think it was the one I came first in my group in, but it doesn't have the placing. So it's kind of, yeah, it's an awesome race. It's really cool. But for the live streams, it's just better to be able to see where you are in the context of the group. The race I wanted to do today was just a 3-lap, one of London, 40 kilometres. But we had technical difficulties. But while I'm here, I might as well just update you on what I've been doing, how the blood sport video series is coming along. So what I've written is my story of how I went from a 36% hematocrit to a 48% hematocrit now. How I did that with all the information backed by science, with my story overlaid, and a bit of a twist as well. It's like, it's going to be a fitness guide, but like no other fitness guide you've ever seen. I'm really excited about it. But yeah, it's going to have so much value. I think what I know, blood, you know, it's so well known, you know, what athletes will do to dope their blood, the potential that it has to increase your performance. And yet, who's talking about it? You know, I found out that, you know, you can do it naturally. How to increase your hematocrit and your performance along with it. Yeah, because I know what I felt like when I had a 36% hematocrit. I was tired a lot. I struggled to push the watts that I was. And how I feel now, the 48%, is just so different. But the difference is that I can push the watts that I'm conditioned to push with my muscles. I can just push for longer, a lot easier than I did when I was 36%. But the story of how I discovered, how I navigated the maze of increasing my iron stores and everything else along with it to increase my hematocrit is interesting. And I can't wait to share it with you. Alright, DBR race at 7:05 tomorrow. Haha, facility time says put 600 watts down for fuck's sakes. Man, I'm trying to warm down here. Alright Louis, I'll have a look at that race. DBR race at 7:05 tomorrow. I didn't even want to go uphill right now. In fact, let's go to the granny ring. We're in the granny ring. Hey, deck one. All right, Ash, how's the training going? It's going great, man. We just did a race in Zwift, and we just round it up. Did a little wrap up. We're just warming down. The races in Zwift are the best bang for your time buck training. Especially when you do them on a live stream. And it is even harder to want to stop. Because you do really want to stop when you're 3/4 of the way up Leap Hill, pushing 360 watts. And you just don't want to let people down, so you got to keep going. But yeah, the training's good. I'm working hard on videos in the background and training at the same time. Not able to put as many hours in as I want on the bike, but we're getting there. You know, as it starts to turn spring, that's when I think there's going to be a marked change in my, just performance. At the moment, we're building a bit of a strength base with all this intensity. Conditioning my muscles to be able to push 360 watts, to find that easy. And then my hematocrit being so high, that will allow me to push those 360 watts for specifically a 20-minute period. Now I'm 68 kilos, that's like 5.2 watts per kilo, something like that. And as an FTP, that'll be 5 watts per kilo. And I can definitely see that now. We're just being patient, training hard with intensity, reeling the 5 watt per kilo goal in. Every pedal stroke with purpose. Your heart rate rarely goes over 165. Yeah. Heart rate's a funny one. It can really depend on the conditions you're in that day, what you've been eating or drinking that day, how you feel, how stressed out are you. I think my downfall in the race today was my heart rate being so elevated over what it has been previously. And it was not helping. And I think it was because I was stressed out, faffing, trying to get these live streams to work today. Best way to boost hematocrit? Good question, Facility Time. The best way to boost hematocrit is, to train. That'll increase your blood volume, but then you have to replenish your iron stores, the vitamins and minerals that are used to build red blood cells. So you have to get enough iron. And for me, that is through Spirulina. So I train hard with intensity, which forces my body to create more red blood cells. And then as long as I'm replenishing my iron stores, then I'll be able to create more healthy red blood cells. And that is one way, probably the easiest, most accessible way to increase your hematocrit. Because your body has to adapt to the hypoxic state that you put it in. And as long as you know, give it the fuel that it needs to create the red blood cells, then your hematocrit will increase. The downfall of athletes, of cyclists, is when they train and they don't replenish what the body needs to create the red blood cells to meet the need, which is one of the things that happened to me. Yeah, spirulina. Have you tried fresh spirulina, Neil? Fresh spirulina is where it's at. Like 1,000 times more iron than spinach. And it doesn't taste like crap. It tastes almost creamy. I've got a link in the description down below of where to buy fresh spirulina from. What's my favourite cereal? So I would say oats. Like, if I'm gonna have cereal, then it'll probably be oats. If I'm feeling optimum efficiency, then for the high carb, then I'll go for barley oats. But really, just your normal oats. You know, they taste so good when you toast them a little bit with some blueberries, or you know, add some milk with them, have some oat milk. What's your favourite cereal? Haha, deck one, froze me nuts off out on the bike this weekend. Yeah. Are you up north? Where are you from, Deck? What size are my lungs? I have no idea, Oscar. This will be something that I'll now want to find out. Louis, enjoy the doom-like music. Yeah, we're going for a bit of a theme. Alright, Neil, you've only tried powder, so yeah. Fresh spirulina tastes way different to powdered, and it's got way more nutrients. Oscar says, Lorraine Kelly or Carol Waterman? Lorraine Kelly. She seems like less pretentious. Oats with cashew milk, yeah, that sounds delicious. I actually prefer Oatly. That's my favourite. Heavy metal toxicity of spirulina. Well, especially if you get the fresh, then there's no heavy metal toxicity. It really depends on the source of where you get the spirulina from. Like, the thing with spirulina is a lot of it is produced in China, where they don't really seem to care so much about standards. So you just got to read the package. And a lot of the best spirulina comes from Israel. If you get organic spirulina from Israel, then you're probably a safe bet. So, something that I've written in the, this is a little insight into the blood sport, even in just like a big jar. So you can actually grow your own spirulina and avoid any kind of toxicity problem. Then you know where it comes from. Ah, Deck, you're in Ireland, yeah. So yeah, the weather is not so hot right now. So chlorella as well. Just, I don't know, I've tried it in the past, but the spirulina, something about it, just the iron availability is just optimum for my body and probably most other people's bodies. Oscar says, I like to eat mash for brekkie. Is that potato mash? Sounds good. Potatoes any way for me, man. Love them. I'm gonna have some in a minute. Yeah, Oatly and coffee is yum, for sure, Neil. I actually like my coffee black though, if I do have it. I actually had a quite negative experience with coffee recently. Seeing as I've been working so much in the background, I became a bit dependent on the caffeine because I was working at home in cafes and stuff. And I figured that I was becoming a bit dependent. I became aware that I was quite dependent on the coffee as part of my daily routine. Came off it, decided to cycle off it, and I just absolutely crashed. Like, my energy went through the floor, and I felt so depressed for a week. And I realised that it was the coffee, because I drank so much as part of my routine that it had created, so the caffeine in coffee makes your brain create adenosine receptors, and you become so sensitive to adenosine. When you stop drinking the coffee, because you're so sensitive, your energy levels just drop through the floor, and that's what happened to me. So through experience, I've learned to use coffee, you know, a lot more rarely than I have been recently. But again, you know, learning through experience. Still going to drink coffee, but just not, you know, maybe once a week after I've cycled off. I've not had any coffee for the last 2 weeks now. My energy levels are feeling way more stable. Neil, yeah, so the Spirulina in the link down below, currently unavailable, just because it's in high demand and they're a small producer. So keep clicking, and they do restock on a regular basis. When did I decide to go vegan? So I think I've been vegan for like 5 years now, or longer. And I just decided to go for health. You know, we get one at bat at this life, and my health, you know, it started to mean more to me. And I actually went to Italy, and all we ate was red. So yeah, apologies for the connection issues. If you're still with me, keep chatting it up in the chat box. I hope you caught what I got to say. If not, I'm going to be doing these live streams regularly every week, and I'll probably go over the same topics. But the last thing I was saying is just, yeah, I don't think I've really spoken about the origins, my vegan origins. But you know, this channel is called Eat Plants because it's the answer to the most popular question I get, which is, how do you lose weight and gain power at the same time? How do you thread that needle? And the easiest way for me was to eat plants. You know, I don't have to think about gaining weight. I don't have to think about the fuel. I just eat as much as I want, and I go. But yeah, it was for health. That's why I turned vegan after a trip to Italy, when I became really sick. But yeah, keep chatting it up in the chat box. Hopefully the internet will stay with me for the last, we'll go for 25k. Yeah, if the stream cut out whilst I was talking, then I'm sure there'll be things that I'll cover in other roundup streams that I'll be doing regularly after every race. It's really good to talk to you. But yeah, I just think it's the time of day when everyone in London is at home, or cranking the Netflix out using my precious broadband. Who's watching Netflix when you could be on Zwift? Spinning it out. Yeah, so spirulina, when you're growing it indoors, I don't think it needs that much light like cannabis, but it probably helps to have more light if you live like where I am in England, where there's not much light. If you're in California, I think you just stick it on your windowsill and not have to worry too much. I think it's actually quite easy to grow spirulina. It's something I have yet to try, but the instructions are very simple and actually quite interesting. Haha, smoke plant. I haven't smoked in a long time. That would definitely be detrimental to my gains, to my watts. I need my lung capacity. Alright, so we're going to finish the stream at 25k. Thanks for sticking with me. I hope the stream wasn't too laggy. We'll try and fix it. You know, that's the point of doing these streams, is just to learn, to experience what works, what doesn't, sort it out, so that we can nail it. I can do these more often. Hopefully every time I train on here. I've enjoyed your company. Your questions, just chat it up in the chat box. We can talk about whatever you want. This is the warm down. Spain, when's next training camp? March next year. We're off to Mallorca. Mallorca for the first time. We're going with Katie Kookaburra and a crew. And I think I've got a place in the 312. But we're going to be doing a lot of training. We're mainly going for the training and the good times in a crew of cyclists, and then maybe the 312 along with it, the Mallorca 312, which is kind of, I think it's a sporty around the entire island. Yeah, I want to go back to Tenerife for sure. It's calling me. So Tenerife is a lot more brutal, and that suits my style. At peak performance, I'm probably under 68 kilos, happily pushing through 60 watts for 20 minutes. I think that's when I'll go to Tenerife, or I guess use Tenerife, see how we do after Mallorca. You know, it's all up for grabs. I'd like to go back to America again. You know, the world is my oyster. Let's go and have an adventure. Alright, let's call it a day. Thank you so much for sticking with me. And we'll see you in the next one.